folks, today let's talk about VLAN and what VLAN is, what it does for us, and how to implement it. And before I talk about VLAN, I want to talk about network a little bit because the VLANs live in networks and they do something to our network to make it perform better and actually, I would say, secures our network as well. Because when we have a local area network, let's say we have a building that employees do different things for different roles, right? Let's say we have sales, marketing, IT teams working in this building, and then we have the switches that these devices connect to. And even though we're in the same local area network, people do different things. Let's say sales team do something that is to do with sales, marketing does the same thing, that's to do with marketing, and IT does the IT jobs. So we don't want the traffic that is destined for IT to go to marketing and sales, and vice versa, right? So that's where VLAN comes in. What VLAN does is that it chops or divides our local area network, our physical local area network, into a virtual local area network. So that means that the VLAN is virtual, so meaning that it is different from the physical topology that we see that is on our network, right? Because this is virtual. So that is where VLAN comes in, and come right along and see how to implement it and what it does, and we'll discover more stuff together. So I did this prior to doing the videos. And yeah, so I have two different VLANs. We have VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. And we have 4 PCs and 2 switches. So I have two different VLANs connected to a switch one, and same different VLANs on the other side of the switch. And I have a trunk port between the switches. So the first thing that we have to do is actually, when we buy switches, right? The ports are in dynamic auto, right? So we have to change the ports into an access port and connect the devices to it, and then assign VLANs to whichever PC that we want in a specific VLAN. So what I did is I connected PC1 to port 1 on a switch 1, and PC2 on port 2 on and assigned VLAN 20, and then I came to this side and did that's port 4 to VLAN 20, and port 3 to VLAN 10. So let's check if there is anything configured on the switches. Show run. So there's nothing. Interface status to see if there is anything on the interfaces. So I don't see anything on the interfaces. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. Show run. So there's nothing configured on the switches. So what we have to do is that we have to also change the native VLAN to an unused VLAN, and the native VLANs has to match on both the switches, because we will get like native VLAN mismatch, and because like if there is a traffic that does not belong to any of these VLANs, the switches has to tag it with a native VLAN, and carry that traffic over the switch to the other side of where it is going. So let's do that. So to save time and make the video very quick and concise, I just did the configurations. I typed it onto my Word here. So this is a switch 1 configuration. And so what I did is, as I told you earlier, on port 1. So we have to do, let's do one together. So go to switch 1, Conf T, and then so I'll go to the interface, F01, switch port mode access, switch port access, and VLAN 10. So that VLAN has been created now. So that's good. So, and then we do the same thing over, like I don't want to type everything. So that's how you do it. And so what I'm going to do now is just copy that configuration and copy and just go over there and paste it into the command line interface of a switch 1. Okay, so there we go. So that's what happened. Now configuration is interface fast Ethernet 01. This remote access switchboard access VLAN 10. That's for port 1, and then for port 2 VLAN 20. That's the configuration, as you see, interface fast Ethernet 02 switchboard remote access VLAN 20. That is done. So let's go to switch 2 now. For switch 2, I did the same thing. I already configured. I wrote the configurations down here. I typed it. So I just copy that and then go to switch 2 and then paste it. Boom. Actually, this is what you would do in a production environment, because you don't want to type onto the command line everything and this and that. So you have to make sure that you type it somewhere else. Make sure double check it before you apply that commands onto the switches, right? So that is done. So it's a spanning tree playing here. So okay, and then let's make sure that the ports between the switches is trunk port. So switch 1. So the trunk port again. So I typed so interface. That's interface fast Ethernet 24. So copy that, and then we get here, paste. So that's what's happening. What did he copy here? Actually did not copy that. So let's go back again. So interface fast Ethernet 024. Where is it at? I did it. I did it. What is it at? Switch 1. Okay, it's just looking at different switch. Be down here. So interface fast Ethernet 024 switch 1 trunk. So I could actually copy that. Just go to the command line, and then so okay. What is happening here? So let me check. So I just have to add conf t here. Okay, and then copy that. Let's go over here, go onto the switch, do it again. It should work this time. There we go. Now, since we have port 24 on this side as well, I just go to that switch and do the same thing. And let's go do that. Boom, there you go. Now that port should be green soon. So now we'll go to switch 2 and configure the port 4 on a switch 2 to VLAN 20 and port 3 to VLAN 10. So let's go ahead and do that. I already saved my configurations. I mean, typed my configurations on here. So switch 2, conf t interface, blah blah. There we go. Port 4. Copy these, and then go to the switch and copy that. Check your configuration. Interface fast Ethernet 03, VLAN 20, fast Ethernet 4, VLAN 10. So that is good. Now, so because now we have, okay, we've configured different VLANs. The switches. Now let's go and just verify it. So VLAN brief. So now, as you can see, that we have VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. Let's name these VLANs. That's what I forgot. VLAN 10 cells, and then VLAN 20 marketing. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. VLAN 10 name sales, VLAN 20 name marketing. Right. So do show VLAN brief now. You should see the names and the VLANs. There you go. That is it. And now, so what I wanted to do is that, let me double check this side as well. There you go. That's good. So, okay. Now, what I want to do is make sure that the native VLAN is changed to an unused VLAN for security purpose. So, I think I did that configuration on the side as well. Let's just grab it. Okay. So, yeah, here you go. Interface fast Ethernet 24, switch port trunk native VLAN 99. That's what we change it to. Okay, go to this is switch and then paste it in. Oh, that should work. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side of the switch because they have to match. Okay, there you go. Now, so 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 everything should work now. So all we need is that IP addresses for the devices to communicate because now because we have different VLANs and we have to have a router on our network to route that traffic between these different VLANs, right? So that's just a bonus because I didn't want to talk about router on a stick. So I've connected a router here, and then we have to make this port here on the switch side be trunk, and then we have to change the port on the other side of the switch that's connected to the router to a configured encapsulation.1q on it, and then we have to come up with sub interfaces for to be default gateway for these different VLANs because we have only one link here. So to do that, also done my configuration typed. So this is what it looks like. It's a conft interface gigabit 01.10 that indicates it belongs to VLAN 10 encapsulation.1q10. That's a VLAN 10, and then we have to give it an IP address, and then IP helper addresses because I don't want to assign like IP addresses to devices like manually, right? I have a DHCP on my network, as you can see. It's over there right here. So these devices will grab their IP addresses from here, and that router will help. So that does all the job. So copy that. And let's go to the router now. Okay, that is then on the router. So there has to be one more configuration for VLAN 20. So that's the same interface, but .20 encapsulation .1q20. And then we have to assign the IP address, the default gateway of the VLAN 20, and then IP helper address. That's the one that helps us get IP addresses for the devices because that IP address is the IP address of the server, the DHCP server. Okay, now just put conft in front of this. Okay, copy that. Okay, and then let's go to the router again. And then copy that. Then everything should work now. Okay, now, so why is the router, this link between the switch and the router red? Because the router interfaces are actually shut down by default. So we have to bring this physical interface of the router up. So interface conft interface G01 no shut. So it should go green soon. There you go. Now, so will only the VLANs work, but the devices also get IP addresses dynamically from that server or the other side. So I also have to unshut this port on this router interface G00. Zero, no shut. So now, perfect. So everything looks green, and let's see. Let's try and actually ping VLAN 10 from VLAN 10 on the switch 1 to VLAN 10 on the switch 2. So let's go to this computer. Oh, we'll have to change it to DHCP here. See if that. Let me do that to all of them so they can get IP addresses dynamically. Just need to wake up because they're sleeping kind of thing. Okay, wake up. Static to DHCP. Now, I think they're just going through the process that, okay, why is that not working? Okay, so they didn't get their IP addresses yet, but let's see if they will soon. Hmm, this is weird. Oh, now I see why it's not working. Because this port G001 G01 has to be trunk port. So let's go ahead and do that. So, okay, 0, 1, port mode trunk. That's all we need. See the interface. Okay, now it takes about like 30 to 50 seconds because of spanning tree. Let's give it a caveat until that one comes back up. So I would say that before you do anything on the routers or switches, it's best practice to always do your or type your configuration somewhere else on your Word or WordPad, whatever you call it, and then double check everything. If you have to ask somebody to double check it for you, go ahead and do it and then implement it because you don't want to take the network down and cause damage. So let's go back now. Okay. Now let's ping the PCs again. So the 2.10, ping from VLAN 10 to VLAN 20. So it should work now, but if it doesn't work, then there is another issue. Oh, there we go. Now that's exciting. So that's how VLAN works. So the best thing that I could do is explain. If that PC on VLAN 10 sends a broadcast message to the switch, it will only get to that route that it will go through the trunk and then get to only the PC on VLAN 10 on the other side. It won't get to this PC, it won't get to this PC because they belong to different VLANs, and that's what VLAN does for us: minimize uh, broadcasts and all that, traffic going all over the places. It helps us actually with, our network to have like better performance and security. That's VLAN. So I know that every company out there uses VLAN. VLAN is one of the best feature that is used on the switches at layer 2. So that is our topic for today. And hope to see you again. Thank you for watching and have a great day or night. So see you next time.